Hey everyone, here's this week's travel tip video. I'm going to address something that I've somewhat addressed in the past, but I haven't addressed it specifically for this reason, and that's we're going to talk about airline cost and determining again the real cost of an airline ticket. I've addressed before making sure you understand the real cost of a trip, and that included your airlines, transfers, hotels, location, and things like that. But this week I'm going to specifically address the airlines because I keep getting emails from various airlines or notices letting me know that there are now charging for yet maybe another additional fee, whether it's for a seat selection or airlines that did not charge for bags in the past that are now doing that, or whatever the case may be. So I feel like I need to address this to make sure you understand the real cost of a flight. And I'm also going to address another aspect of flying, which is when you go out to look at let me just address this first. When you go out to pick your airfare, or when I send a quote for a package that includes hotel, car transfer, tickets, airfare tickets, etc., I want you to understand you need to look closely at the airfare portion of that. The things you're going to see a lot of variance in is the airfare cost. And here's something to consider. If I send you a quote, or if any travel professional sends you a quote for a vacation, and it includes airfare, and you see another supplier, or if you go online, you see that that package may be cheaper through somewhere else, you better check the airfare first because that is a huge variance. And here's what I mean. I may send, and what I usually try to do is send not the cheapest, I send the best. And what I mean by that is I send the best times, the best flight in the way of connections, etc. I try to find my clients flights that fly out during decent parts of the day or get you to your destination so you can start your vacation at a decent part of the day, and also potentially flights that have less connections. If you go out to Bing.com or Yahoo Travel or Expedia, Orbitz, or any of them, and you just pick flights, you're going to see a ton of variety or a ton of options as far as your flights go. And you're going to see cost. It's always going to show you the cheapest one first. If you look at the details of that flight, that may have two different connections. You may leave, for example, Los Angeles, connect through Denver, connect through Chicago, and then get to your East Coast destination, versus there may have been a flight that was direct from LAX to New York or Florida or wherever you were going, that maybe was a little bit more expensive, but it's going to save you the hassle, because naturally if you choose a flight with a bunch of connections, that is the potential of things going wrong. That's how I look at it. If you have a flight with one or two more connections, that connecting flight could be the issue on you getting to your destination on time or being delayed for whatever reason. So naturally, a nonstop flight, once it takes off, you know it's heading the right way as far as you should get there and the time you're supposed to, unless there's some form of headwind or something at the airport that's you're trying to arrive in that's going to cause you maybe delayed on your landing, but it's not going to delay you potentially where you miss your trip. So always check the airfare. If you're going to look apples to apples on airfare cost, look at the times that were quoted, and then look at other options and see if there's comparable times to the same cost that you're looking at, if that makes sense. Now, do not accept an airfare and think it's the cheapest when you did not add in what it's going to cost you to select a seat potentially, to check in online or actually do it online. Potentially there's airlines that charge for your convenience of doing things online, and you're going to pay fees. So when you're looking at a cost for an airline, for an air ticket, make sure again you look at airline A, what it's charging, all the fees that it's going to charge you to get from point A to point B, bags, seat selection, checking in, etc., and then compare that to airline B, and then look at the times. If airline A has the best fare and the best time, and it even including all the fees, then you know you've made a good choice. But if airline A has what looks like cheap fares, but it's going to get you in at midnight, and airline B is not that much more, it's going to get you in at 1 in the afternoon, you might go with airline B. So that's how I choose fares, or I at least choose my options to send to my clients. And then if they think it's too expensive, we can always change airfare and try to find a cheaper solution that way, to try to minimize the cost. But airfare is tricky because there's so many variances between one airline to the other that it's hard for people to say, well, I got the cheapest fare, when maybe they didn't. Or if they did, maybe it's because they arrived the next day. For example, when you're coming back from Hawaii, there are direct flights that get you in a decent hour from Honolulu to San Francisco or LAX. But there's also flights that leave Honolulu that don't get in till the next morning. So you're basically flying overnight because of the time change and getting into LA or San Francisco at potentially 9 in the morning, and your next connection may be 3 hours later. So you're spending an entire day without rest and not in a bed. So calculate all of that. That's what we're here for, to help you understand that. That's what I'm here for, to help you understand. But if you do it on your own, it's up to you to do your homework and make sure you're selecting the best alternative for your ticket. Sometimes cheap is not great, and I'm tired of hearing everybody talk about I got the cheapest, when the cheapest may have been the sorriest vacation package you could have tried to plan for yourself because of logistics or whatever. But yet somehow people think that's a bragging right to say you got the cheapest. So especially when it comes to airfare. Anyway, there's my 2 cents. Do your homework. Let me do your homework for you. Whatever the case may be, find a travel professional you know, like, or trust to help you do your homework on a vacation. That's what we're here for. And then reward that travel professional if they've helped you. That's the other little tidbit I'm going to tell you. We don't do this for free. It's not pro bono work, and we don't get compensated unless you book through us. So if you're having a travel professional help you with all these logistics, reward that travel professional if they're doing a good job helping you with giving them the business, since it doesn't cost you a dime to do so. So anyway, there you go. There's my travel tip video of the week. Hope it helps. And let me know your comments, questions, feedback, whatever. If you don't like what I have to say, let me know that too. I don't care. It doesn't. I'm not running for mayor here. So have a good week. Bye.